come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn.
Now that's how you fight. California Governor Gavin Newsom looking at Trump and his border czar Tom Homan and saying, enough. You want to arrest me? Stop with the threats. Come and arrest me, damn it. And California Governor Newsom came out swinging at the Trump regime's unlawful invasion of Los Angeles and California, the unlawful federalization of the National Guard in California, the activation of the United States Marines to be used against Americans and people living in California. How utterly pathetic. And Governor Newsom did not mince words right here. Here in this interview with MSNBC, Newsom explains Trump's lying about everything. Here, play this clip.
Law enforcement, but there's a protocol, there's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. He said in a tweet that everything's now safe, everything's fine. Is that the case, Mr. Trump? He said because he deployed the National Guard. The Guard hadn't even been deployed when he said this. It's Orwellian. Simply lying to people. Unconstitutional, illegal act, his mess. We're trying to clean it up.
And here Governor Newsom has a message for Donald Trump. Stand the hell down. Stand down. You're creating this mess. Get the hell out of my state. Here, play this clip.
We want them to exercise their fundamental rights. We want to keep those that are enforcing the laws in a respectful and responsible way also safe. But Donald Trump needs to pull back. He needs to stand down. Donald Trump is inflaming these conditions. This is Donald Trump's problem right now, and if he can't solve it, we will.
He continues to, as always, hit you hard publicly. Just
powerful, powerful stuff. Let me show you the longer clip of what Governor Newsom had to say to Donald Trump and Tom Homan with their tough guy act as they're ripping apart 4-year-olds from their family, as they're taking away mothers who are breastfeeding their children and throwing them in concentration camps and deporting them to other countries. Horrific stuff. Here, play this clip.
Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his words. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
This is the fighter that I think lots of people wanted to see. I think Governor Newsom right here stepping up, looking in the camera and telling Donald Trump how he feels during these very difficult times being created by the Trump regimes. But Governor Newsom also has a message to people who are behaving violently. And he's saying the images of anybody who's not engaged in peaceful protests, that's unacceptable. You're playing right into the Trump regime's hands. Here, play this clip.
And not in the city proper. But look, you made a point a moment ago. These images are unacceptable. These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters, a lot of these folks, a lot of great people out there doing the right thing. But you get these insurgent groups coming in, sort of these anarchists that are in there to create real problems. And they're just playing right into Donald Trump's hand. And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property. And it is wrong to create the conditions that only exacerbate this. But Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the sponsor of these conditions.
Let me give you the opportunity. You mentioned that there are people out there.
And throughout the day, Governor Newsom was coordinating with the LAPD and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and state emergency officials in LA responding to issues. As he says, responding to protests provoked by the chaos from Washington. We're here to keep peace, not play into Trump's political games. Governor Newsom last night wrote, despite protests already being managed by the LAPD, Trump is escalating the situation by threatening to deploy, this was yesterday, roughly 500 more active duty Marines to the streets of Los Angeles. Los Angeles, remain peaceful. Don't fall into the trap that extremists are hoping for. Trump is the extremist, is what Governor Newsom is saying. Trump is trying to manufacture a crisis in LA County, deploying troops not for order, but to create chaos. Don't take the bait. Never use violence or harm law enforcement. Don't give Trump what he wants. Stay calm, stay peaceful. And here's how Governor Newsom said that he found out that Trump was going to seize the authority that is for the governor, because the governor controls the National Guard, and use the National Guard, federalize it against the people of California. And Governor Newsom said, yeah, I found out through a staffer. That's how I found out. He never had the guts to even tell me or talk to me. And we know how pathetic Donald Trump is, right? Here, play this clip.
Today.
This is your authority normally to deploy the National Guard here. Right. You did it. We were together after the fires, and those National Guard troops have been out all across Los Angeles working to rebuild and recover this city. How did you find out that the President of the United States was going to usurp your authority and deploy your National Guard here in California?
I got a call from a staffer. No heads up whatsoever. And again, we're here to support local law enforcement. There's a mutual aid process. Local law enforcement had no needs. They were not requesting any additional resources. I've got 100 now. I have 175 CHP officers, technically trained officers, tactical teams to address Donald Trump's mess. We're here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support. He made this up. This is a manufactured crisis in order to get under the tent to start to stretch credulity and to begin the process of moving inevitably towards a constitutional questioning crisis around posse comitatus. And it's, I think, inevitable. That's where he's going.
Tom Homan.
Because I want to remind you, remember when Donald Trump was doing the whole Gavin Newsom thing, Newsom this, Newsom that. Remember when Trump was doing that about the fires? And then Donald Trump claimed he released water into the fires, but he actually took water away from farmers in Northern California and diverted it to areas that weren't even close to Los Angeles after the fires were already contained. Remember the moment where Donald Trump looked at Gavin Newsom, and he was just like literally physically intimidated by Newsom. Let me just show you that moment here. Play this clip.
So underscore. Hey, Camilo, I just want to stop you 1 second, because as you're talking, we are watching President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. They descended the steps of Air Force One, shook the hand of California Governor Gavin Newsom. We see them exchanging some words right now. We see pointing fingers and a thumb back. I mean, I was wondering if this was sort of going to be a moment like between Jan Brewer and
Now, here the reporter says, what's your message to Donald Trump? Watch what Newsom says. Let's play it.
I have a feeling there's a pretty good chance that in the White House there might be a television on and he might be watching us
I hope so.
right now.
Yeah, he can learn something.
What might you say to him if I'll give you the floor, you have the opportunity, what you weren't able to say to him on that phone call or calls that he hasn't taken today?
Where's your decency, Mr. President? Stop. Rescind this order. It's illegal and unconstitutional. And I said it, I'll say it again, it's immoral. You're creating the conditions that you claim you're solving, and you're not. And you're putting real people's lives at risk. This is a serious moment, and it requires serious leadership. And it's time for you to be a commander-in-chief of the United States of America. And I will have your back if you want to work in a relationship of trust and truth in the spirit of our founding fathers. But you come after poor kids, you come after families, we will do everything in our power to stand up and stand in your way.
Governor Gavin Newsom.
Newsom also criticizes the fact that Donald Trump said he was going to do 90 deals in 90 days and hasn't done a single deal. Play this clip.
We talked about this is in some measure about immigration, in some measure it's about democracy. Do you believe, some people have said that this is an attempt at distraction from maybe the matters with Elon Musk back in Washington? Why did this happen now, in other words?
He's the master of distraction. He's the commander of chaos. That's what Donald Trump does. Moves this direction, move that direction. I mean, look, this guy is 90 days, 90 beautiful deals. How many deals? Zero. In the UK, give me a break. I mean, Elon Musk the the sycophant of sycophants as it relates to this love relationship that he had with the President of the United States said it exactly right. We're likely to enter a recession the second half of the year because of the recklessness of this tariff policy under this administration. He's just saddled our kids and grandkids with $2.5 trillion of debt to give billionaires and corporations a tax break that they're not even asking for. Of course he's trying to distract us.
And Governor Newsom talks about how Donald Trump is lying about the phone call that was between Trump and Newsom. And Governor Newsom says, we talked for 20 minutes. I was just trying to talk about LA, and Donald Trump was talking about who the hell even knows what. And I was saying, focus, talk about LA. Trump is a liar. Here, play this clip.
Continues to, as always, hit you hard publicly. Just 10 minutes ago, he put out another Truth Social telling you and the mayor to apologize to the people of Los Angeles. You guys go at it pretty hard publicly, but I know you talk privately. Have you spoken in the last couple of days to the president about any of this?
Yeah, we talked for almost 20 minutes, and this issue never came up. I mean, I kept trying to talk about LA. He wanted to talk about all these other issues. We had a very decent conversation.
When was this?
This was late Friday night, about 1:30 plus his time.
After the protests had started?
After the protests, and he never once brought up the National Guard. He's a stone-cold liar. He said he did. Stone-cold liar. Never did. It was a very civil conversation. I've always wanted to approach engagement with the President of the United States in a respectful and responsible way. But there's no working with the President. There's only working for him. And I will never work for Donald Trump.
Did you mention it all to him in that phone call on Friday?
Now, Governor Newsom's office sent the following letter yesterday. Here's the letter that they sent as they were initiating the lawsuit to be filed today for the unlawful invocation of USC section 12406, 10 USC section 12406. And here's what Governor Newsom's office wrote to Pete Hegseth. On June 7th, 2025, Donald Trump issued a memorandum to your office entitled Department of Defense Security for the protection of the Department of Homeland Security functions. This memorandum purports to invoke 10 USC section 12406 to call into federal service members and units of the National Guard to temporarily protect ICE and other United States government personnel who are performing federal functions, including the enforcement of federal law and to protect federal property. The memorandum further directs actions as necessary for the Secretary of Defense to coordinate with the governors of the states and the National Guard Bureau in identifying and ordering into federal service the appropriate members and units of the National Guard under this authority. Section 12406 states that the President may call into federal service members and units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to 1. Repel an invasion of the United States by a foreign nation, 2. Suppress a rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States, or 3. Execute the laws of the United States when the President is unable to do so with regular forces. Section 12406 further states that orders for these purposes shall be issued through the governors of the states. Last night, the Adjutant General, that's who runs the National Guard, of California received a memorandum from your office with the subject line calling members of the California National Guard into federal service, which states that 2,000 members of the California National Guard will be called into federal service effective immediately for a period of 60 days. Notably, this directive did not issue, quote, through the governor of the state, end quote, as required by Section 12406. The Department of Defense did not transmit this directive to the office of the governor, nor was it approved or ordered by the governor of California. This directive is also inconsistent with the president's memorandum, which anticipates, quote, coordination with the governor of the states in identifying and ordering units of the National Guard into federal service. So that's going to be the subject of that is the subject of the lawsuit. Well, there you have it, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. I wanted to highlight that powerful response by California Governor Gavin Newsom. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.